Atonement started as Ian McEwan's novel, which we adapted in 2005 with Working Title Films, our producer. Joe Wright and I came on board around that time. Christopher Hampton did the screenplay. And we set about scouting locations. The idea was always to shoot the entire film in the UK, even though part of it obviously is set in northern France. And we tasked our location manager, Adam Richards, and production designer, Sarah Greenwood. Sarah works in a very unusual way in as much as she comes on board with Joe at a very, very early stage, often while the script's being written. The majority of the film is shot here on the beach in Redcar. And the reason that Sarah chose it was the extraordinary, from the right angle, the extraordinary similarity that this seafront, this esplanade, has to Dunkirk itself. That building over here has a French look to it, distinctly French look to it. So then she extended along here, ruined buildings, built a bandstand here, and we dressed the beach. It took about 2 months of construction, enormous amounts of cooperation from the people who live on the seafront, from the council, from everybody really. It was quite amazing what people did to help the film. It was very, very expensive to do. Dressed the thing with all the correct World War II props, brought up a Thames barge, which actually did get washed up, beached on Bray Dunes, in 3 pieces, towed it up the coast and constructed it here, and so on. And used the Cora steel works in the background as our bombed oil refinery, which actually was at the end of Dunkirk Beach. So it kind of was a perfect match in a way, and we did it in one long Steadicam shot, which took 5.5 minutes. Extraordinarily well orchestrated by Joe and his team of assistant directors. How they did it, I have absolutely no idea. Take my hat off to them. But the great thing was seeing Peter Robertson, who's one of the great Steadicam operators in the world, make his way around with a 60-pound camera, walking on sand, and trying to keep everything in frame and focus at the same time. It was great orchestration of action. And to our great surprise and joy, after 3 takes, we knew we had it in the bag, but Joe said, no, I need one more take. So off we went again, take 4, which went perfectly all the way down past the horses being shot, round the boat, up the beach, up the steps which we built here. And as we reached the top of the steps, as you watch in the rushes, the camera just goes like that. Sorry, bang the mic. And he fell over. He collapsed. Peter couldn't do it anymore. He said, "I'm sorry, Joe. That's it. This. All right. If it's the end of my career, so be it." But when he finally saw the rushes the next day, and we had a wonderful crowded screening room up in the gym here, everybody burst into applause. And Peter said, "Well, I might as well retire anyway because I'll never beat that." So one of the most exciting days I've ever experienced on a film.
And it was littered with army wagons and all sorts. Now when we got to Dunkirk, we went to the docks to see if our boat was there, as they told us it would be. And it was there all right, but it was sunk. Only the funnels were showing. And then of course we had to make our way to the beach, which was a little bit chaotic. There was men going in the sea, there was men coming out the sea, men sleeping, men lying around. It was a bit chaotic, but we managed all right. I'm here today. The attention was I have some good memories of it all, even of Dunkirk. And had some good mates, and we all stuck together and looked after one another. At least I've come back home.
Yeah.
Some poor devils haven't. Some have come home, all shot up and messed about, but I'm all right. I'm all right, Jack.
Dunkirk, I was involved with the rearguard action, and we were helping to hold the Germans back to let the Dunkirk happen, which we did do. Unfortunately, I was wounded and I was captured, and we were laid there and the Germans just marched in. Couldn't do nothing about it, we were just taken prisoner. And then they said if we could walk back a couple of miles, we would get the better treatment than what we were getting. So we volunteered. Some of us got out of the war.
All right, yeah.
It was. We never saw the better treatment. It was the march back into Germany. So I was there until 1945. I finished it up into an NCO's camp. But we were on the march again. We were going to Birch's Garden, so they told us they were going to hold us hostage. But we never reached there. The Yanks caught us up and we were liberated by the Yanks. And we had starvation rations. So a lot of us were in a bad condition. That was it. Then we come back to Blighty, and we flew back to England. Well, we flew in Dakotas first to France, and then we caught Lancasters back to England. We flew in the Lancaster. So that was it.